Hey, friend. So we are often asked about how we became the freedom parents, how we created this incredible life we live today, and we have the time freedom that we have. And I just wanted to spend some time today talking with Harold about really what that is. Truth is, some of you may not want to know the truth, but it is network marketing, and it has been the thing that radically changed our life. And we're here today in our mission, the Freedom Parents, exist because we believe we need more people within this industry. So why don't you hang around and hear our perspective on this incredible industry we're in. What's up, boo?
What is the boo? You don't call me boo.
Bae. I feel like this is like in real time episodes of Watch the Bump Grow.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's, and I just can't stop rubbing my belly. I almost forget how much I love being pregnant. It's probably because I'm pregnant. Like, you can actually feel the baby now. Like, little hands and feet and all the good things. And
yeah, the kids are actually liking. They're enjoying it.
Yeah,
they're ready. They're ready.
The first thing that Stellan does, our 7-year-old, he I've taught him how to kind of gently just feel, like push around my belly, and so he can find where the baby's at. Mm-hmm. And he's like amazed by it. So now when I put them to bed and I lay down to sing songs or whatever, the first thing he does is he puts his hand on my belly. And he's like, oh, there's the baby. So cute.
I've never been a belly feeler.
But hence the title of our podcast and our YouTube and our social media, The Freedom Parents, exist because our children have motivated us to do everything we've done and accomplish the things we have and change the things that needed to be changed. And, that name that we have started as a mission, really started just as a hashtag, right? Mm-hmm. When we started writing about what we were creating and what we were doing for this purpose of not just creating a family together, but being able to be with that family, like to be a part of it, to have time together, to have experiences and adventures. And there's always some kind of limit, but as much as we can possibly create in this lifespan, to not have a life of limits within those parameters, Mm-hmm. And we've never actually, once we created our own personal mission and then other people were like, hey, raising their hands, I want to be a freedom parent too. We've never really meant to not tell people what we do. We've always actually said from the beginning, actually, we want this mission to glorify what we do and how we've done it. And the opportunity that came our way 11 years ago now, maybe, mm-hmm. I don't know. And, as we've begun, we talk about different topics to help people within multiple realms of how we've grown. Some people might forget that we are here. We are the freedom parents. Mm-hmm. Other people have become freedom parents, living the life that we desire to live, mm-hmm. because we found a really great opportunity.
Yeah.
A little over a decade ago, right?
Yeah. That's the mission, is what you do, what the vision is, why you do it, and the value is how you do it. And actually, it was the president of the company that we are currently with. That's our main flow. That said, this business is about creating more freedom parents. I'll never forget when she said that. We were just up and coming leaders starting to really catch traction and grow. And she said that from stage in front of a lot of people. And we looked at each other and were like, freedom parents, mm-hmm. Maybe that is what, and that was many moons ago.
So, and we have the book to the title of The Freedom Parents. And when I wrote that, I guess, oh my gosh, our fourth was in my belly then. So that was, 4 years ago, I guess, maybe almost 3.5, 4 years ago. I wanted people to know where we started and what we went through. And I wanted them to know that, like, sometimes the best opportunity is actually right in front of your face, like us. Yeah. Like, we had a life raft and we turned our nose up to it because it looked like and smelled like a network marketing opportunity.
Yeah.
For probably a year and a half, 2 years, I actually said yes to it. And then still.
Well, it was different approaches though. So we owned I worked corporate America out of college, did their manager training program, managed their branch manager, multiple stores for 7 years. Didn't want like that, corporate America. So we did, went and got in debt, opened the gym, did that entrepreneur thing, and had satellite locations, and we had our own brick and mortar location. But what my point of that is, we had a personal training facility that people saw as a platform for us to sell their stuff. So we had a stigma against network marketing, direct sales. What's the other one they call it? MLM, whatever, all the stuff, network marketing, of a negative stigma about it, because that's what people approached us about it. And we're like, no, I don't want to sell you shake.
Right.
No, I don't want to sell you magical bark from Amazon. I don't want to sell you mystic algae from the seas of whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like, no. And that's why we had this negative perspective about it as well. So I see why people have that, because it's just unskilled people they probably come in contact with. But if you look at the industry as a whole, there's research or studies now, Consumer Reports, saying how the Direct Sales Association or that industry grew from 2016 to 2022, I think 250 billion with a B dollars. And they're projecting in the next 2 years that it grows 100 billion.
Yeah.
So it's got phenomenal products. And the reason they can have phenomenal products is because they can put so much money into the actual products and get good quality products, because they don't have to pay employees or marketing.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's one perspective to look at it. Now it's just how people tend to do business, or how the companies operate can put a sour taste in it. And for us, it wasn't until someone approached us multiple times about what we do now that we were like, okay, he came with a totally different approach. He wasn't pushy. He painted value. He showed how we could improve people's life and improve ours in the process. So it wasn't like stepping on someone to get where we were. You should
really sell this.
Yeah. It was like, wait a minute, help someone and it would help us. It was just a whole different perspective. And it wasn't just a sales pitch. And we're like, okay, we can get behind that. They say most people, especially today in the economy that we're in, especially moving forward, is they're really holding on to their dollars because it's not going as far because of the looming recession or inflation or whatever. So they're very selective in where they're going to spend. So they're looking for purpose-driven companies who provide an experience and value. So a lot of parallel industries are going to have a problem, but that's where I feel like we're going to shine.
Yep.
Because we've been doing that for so long.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like we hadn't been approached by other things. As you said, we were. And my brain, being then a new mom to, our first and then our second, was already feeling the tug of wanting to both continue to contribute to humanity through some type of work and my passion of health and fitness and coaching, but also wanting to be home with our babies. And Lord, I didn't even know we were going to have 5 then, So good thing we followed that prompt then. But in my heart, like, it was this growing desire to be an entrepreneur from home, and so I was looking for all these ways. I, created thought I'd, be a vlogger as it was coming up, or sell ebooks, or just like, all the stuff that is very popular now was just kind of coming out then. And, it's just, honestly, I was just running up against a wall, and here was this opportunity in front of me, not knowing the whole time everything I wanted from at-home work experience was like right in front of me, and the concepts there are, it's like it's what do they say, Harold? What is that? If you have a bad customer review or something, they're going to tell like 100 people. But if you have a customer that has a pleasant experience, they might only tell a couple. It's like bad news travels further and faster than good news. And it shouldn't be that way, but it just is. So the truth of the matter is that, you got, you do have some not good experiences and stories from both people in these companies and companies that have not chosen to learn how to do business in an ethical way.
Yeah, there's bad seeds in every industry. Like we're talking about, you know, you can go any attorneys, chiropractors, whatever.
Teachers.
You can go whatever.
Oh, sorry, teachers. I don't know why I chose to throw you under the bus.
Yeah, I had bad teachers.
Yeah.
But no, I find that because I find I'm uniquely qualified to speak on this from at least as much as an unbiased position as possible, because I've worked for someone as an employee. I've done corporate America, graduated college, did the corporate management, all that stuff, moved into get a loan, create our own business with a business plan, did that. And then I did network marketing. And so I've done pretty much all of it. And I have to say, it's one of the most moral forms of compensation on the planet.
Yep.
Because it doesn't care about your background. It doesn't care about your education, doesn't care about your race, doesn't care about your gender. It just says, are you willing to show up, personally develop as a human being, and go out and meet as many people as you can and share it.
And then help them do the same.
And if you can become phenomenal at that,
sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. You're going to win.
I think the people that tend to have the concepts around this don't realize that sometimes people struggle to take what they want to accomplish for themselves, put that on a shelf, and realize that when you help people win, you win too. And it's just sometimes you're going to cross paths with people who generally are focused on helping do good for other people. And those are the most successful people in the industry because, they have goals too. And they should. That's awesome. Everybody should benefit, right? You know, from this kind of relationship. But their first focus every day is that, and they know that I can't win unless I help other people win. And then there's people who are in such dire straits. They have so much urgency in their life. They're in a lot of pain, you know, financially, relationally, whatever it is. And this comes across and they see someone who's changed their life. They're like, oh my God, I need that. But they can't tuck that in their back pocket. And instead, they kind of start to use people as the ladder, right? They step on everyone they can on their way up. Unfortunately, most of the time, they don't actually make it up, though. Because this is, like you said, is a people business. And it centers around personally developing yourself and personally developing others and building community. But it's kind of like that saying with money. You know, money only makes you more of what you already are.
Yep.
Network marketing, it just makes you more of what you are.
Yeah.
Unless you learn how to become, you know, the type of individual that you really can be, that knows how to both focus on what you need in your life while helping others get what they need.
Yeah. And I'm taking notes because there's a couple of things I want to touch on was, to your point, is I think most people come into it is buying that proverbial lottery ticket. And many of you listening probably heard that analogy associated with this because it's such a low barrier of entry. Like I wish to start our program as far as being a coach, I wish it was 5 times what it was because you'd get more qualified people who were more probably inclined to actually take it serious. But when it's a low barrier of entry, it's like, it's a gamble. It's a risk. I'll take the all black, all red, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I'll take the gamble.
Right.
And
if
then
it works, it works.
And then
great.
it gets, if it works, it works. And then it gets a bad name.
Nothing really happens like that in life.
No, and it's like
people.
anything. It's that my whole position on if you kind of do it, you're going to kind of get results.
It's like praying on it.
And
right?
And then the other thing is I think people should take a more positive stance because even in our company, there's still people who want to say, oh, we're not network marketing or we're not direct sales or whatever. And I'm like, I was sharing with y'all earlier. I was like, and I was sharing in Tennessee. I was like, look, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's a duck. I said, we're just a sexy duck and we need to accept that, right? And be on the offensive. That's who we are. Because what happens is other people are very defensive and it's almost like you're bait and switching people because you're scared or ashamed.
Right.
And then ultimately it's going to come out the way you operate as a business. It's just an operation of how a business functions, right? That's all network marketing is. And that's how companies work actually too, is this you let enough people know about what product you have.
Yeah.
And you bring them in as being ambassadors or advocates or whatever.
Well, that's really good because, you'll never grow in this industry if every day you're moving forward with the lack of confidence about what you possess and the unwillingness to say, yeah, okay, this is what we are, to not be ashamed of it, and then to educate others positively around what this really means. Like, it doesn't mean what your grandpa or your dad or your mom thought about it, because, the other thing is the people that are really disappointed by it are the ones that open themselves up to dreaming, which is hard. When you open yourself up to dreaming and you confess to another individual who has a great opportunity that could possibly make these things come true, and you open up your heart and you say, you know what I really want from my family? I really want to see them every day. I don't want to drive off at 5 a.m. in the morning. I want to make X amount of income. I want to do these adventures with them. I promised my kid I'd buy him a pony or something, you name it. Because I was one of those kids. I had a dad in network marketing opportunity. He asked me what I wanted. And I said I wanted a pony. And he had to face the fact that he couldn't give that to me, but so a lot of people are very disappointed because they open their hearts up, they start dreaming, and then if they don't carry through, or personally grow, or just get the skills, or just stay in it long enough, and you have to face the fact you gave up.
Right.
And so sometimes it's who has an easy time admitting you gave up?
Right.
Not many people are going to be able to say, I gave up. Instead, what are they going to do? They're going to point the finger. Because it's much, much harder to look in the mirror and say, I didn't do everything I could have to make those dreams come true.
Yeah.
So the reality is there's so many things that influence that. And then the last but not least concept, I think, is one of the biggest things that I said over and over and over is about, it being a pyramid scheme. And you have a great rebuttal to that.
I do.
You do.
What is it?
Harold, it's a pyramid scheme.
I don't answer that question.
Yes.
Actually.
No, you don't. Exactly. So you don't answer that question. So tell people.
Put you on the spot. Don't answer that question. I used to have all my little skits and all that, but I don't associate with people like that anymore.
Exactly. Schemes. Case in point is you don't entertain that because a pyramid scheme
is illegal. And I don't associate with unlawful things.
Yeah. You're making me. I almost got worried there. I was like, Harold, yes, you do.
Well, no, because we don't get that anymore. So I think we'd have been in jail a long time ago.
We don't get it because we're not insecure about it. Yeah. But other people, when they move forward with their insecurity, or they feel like they know what people are going to say, and then they don't know what to say about it, is in fact, and how do you know that is because we took time to research the industry we're in. Right. We took time to learn and grow. And so now we know how to have confidence about what we do. We know how to talk about these things.
Yeah, I think that's important to research the team too, or the organization you're going to work with. One, you got to have passion behind what the product is. Otherwise, you're just going to be selling something that you don't believe in. And two, like for instance, we're a publicly traded company, so we're under such scrutiny from regulations and that. So we're so far above being legal that I laugh if people ever were to say something like that. That's just scarcity mindset, people. So just run like that. I used to try and overcome objections with people like that. So actually, people who are listening, if you're early on and you're kind of vulnerable in that, and you hear the stupid comments, like we heard someone was saying about how someone said, "Oh, they prey on single women" or something like that, or whatever. So that's just ignorance. That's someone who lacks they don't want to take the time to go research or understand. They're in echo chambers, or they hear one thing here or see one thing here, and it's probably the person that bought the damn lottery ticket because they sold someone who was broken and hurting, and they sold them on a hope ticket, and that person bought it but didn't want to do the work, and now that person preyed on them. Now the person who did it probably did it in a sleazy sales style way, but I'm sure if you put me or you or someone else in that situation would have bought the same hope ticket, we would have followed through and we would have seen it to fruition.
Right.
So Yeah, I think just don't give that energy. Don't try and defend it. Don't try and overcome the objection. To me, it's like a blessing. It's like, thank you. We didn't have to get into a long conversation for me to know where your mind is.
Yep.
And then just move on. Because I used to try and defend it. I used to try and use my sales tactics that I had.
That urgency. And that's, again, another mistake that people make in the industry. Sometimes it's like they're trying to make the one person right in front of them.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Decide right now, stop. You're being weird. Like you're being pushy now. That's the essence of pushy.
That's what gives it a bad name.
Being bold about your offering and talking about it and being proud about it. That's not pushy.
Just like car salesmen. I mean, I've had wonderful experiences with car salesmen, and I've had bad experiences with car salesmen. Like I've had some that I'm telling you, like I actually grade people in sales. You know that.
Yeah, it's like a hobby.
And I'll be like, that guy just needs, his ladder is leaning up the wrong building of success. I said, because he's got skills or she's got skills. I said, man, they lean it over here. I said, they're golden. And then I'll leave and I'll be like, that's why that guy probably works very hard to make very little. I said, because he's a novice in his craft or her craft. But same with what we do. Yeah. But I do believe that that what we do, network marketing, if you find the right company, it is the most moral form of compensation on the planet, and has the potential to generate a life. Like anything, though, it can do the same as anything that you put work and effort and energy into. And I believe with anything, you create one main revenue stream, and it can cash flow all your other passions.
Oh, that's so important.
It can cash flow all your other passions. And I was sharing that in Tennessee as well. So it don't have to be your end all be all.
Right.
It can actually start to fuel other things.
Yep.
Because once you get it moving, which usually takes about 2, 3, 4 years, and actually I'll add one more thing, because that whole getting in early thing.
Oh, please. Yeah.
That's a myth and an excuse too. We got into our company because we get labeled that too sometimes. People say, no, they got in early. Yeah. I mean, I guess if getting in early was 10 years into the company, I guess that's early. Is a decade early, or is it getting in 10 months early? I don't know. I actually would rather a more seasoned company and get in later, because a lot of those companies that are starters, they don't ever evolve past that.
Yep. There's a
like
whole
they
lot
go
of
out. There's actually statistics
created.
in business too. Like most businesses don't get to the 3-5 year mark. Well, I'd rather join a company that's 10, 20, 30 years in, because it shows that they're resilient. It shows that they can change in strategies to fit the situation and grow. Actually, that is probably the most asinine thing, is to say that people get in early. That's the worst thing I'd want to get in. Get into a company that's been around forever and has, passed the test of time.
Yeah, they don't have a limit of top producers, because there's not a limit of people, I mean, there is a limit, but there's lots. And I'm like, no, we didn't personally work with all of the people in the world. It's a people business. Yeah. It's about networking. It's about connecting. It's about creating relationships. Yeah. There's a whole lot of people in this world we haven't created relationships
There's a
with.
whole lot of people writing books, but people keep writing books. And a lot of us about the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's from a different perspective, and it's about how you go about and how you get it out there. I tell my kids that all the time. They're like, oh, well, someone's doing this or someone's doing that. I can't do this. I'm like, no one can do it like you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah, no. And if you have questions about, more of our story within this topic, just buy the Freedom Parents book.
She's pitching the book now.
The whole story's there. But also, if you're in the industry,
that's why the book
we give
was written.
tips.
That's why the book was written, actually. It was to, what's the word I'm looking for? To give network marketing to prop it up. A better image.
The way we felt like it should be.
So a lot of what we talked about, our perspective and our opinions of it, are in there, and our struggles and all of that, because it's like anything. All your blood, sweat, and tears you put into anything is a necessary lubrication for success. And the same goes for this industry as well. So.
Absolutely. All right, friends, remember, you deserve to live the life you desire. So go out and create your new American dream.